It's being called an architectural wonder. The tallest building in the United States is currently under development, but you may be very surprised to find out where it's being built and what it tells us about what to expect for the future of our nation. And then,
I think it's a fair question to ask, where's the concern for the United States in that?
Well, it's not my concern. Tucker, I've heard that routine from you before, but that's not my concern.
Mike Pence is finding a new way to humiliate himself. You won't believe what he's going to try to spend, or better, waste $20 million on in his futile effort to make himself relevant once again. Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you've already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. So you ready for a glimpse into the future? Well, that's exactly what we're seeing in the deep red state of Oklahoma, particularly Oklahoma City. Developers are proposing the construction of what they're calling the Legend Tower, which is set to rise to an astonishing 1,907 feet, surpassing the current tallest U.S. building, the One World Trade Center in New York City, which stands at 1,776 feet. The numbers of both are, of course, significant, obviously 1776, but 1907 refers to the year Oklahoma officially became a state. The Legend Tower is part of a larger development called the Boardwalk at Bricktown, covering over 3 acres and totaling more than 5 million square feet. The complex aims to be a mixed-use marvel with residential, hospitality, retail, dining, and entertainment space. Now, much is being made about the fact that this massive skyscraper project is not happening in New York or Chicago or LA, but rather in a deep red state like Oklahoma. And we're beginning to see in literally 3D a very remarkable shift away from blue states that ascended to prominence during the Industrial Revolution to now red states in the South and the Midwest that are growing like wildfire. And this really is an amazing development given all the dysfunctionality and political paralysis that we're seeing in D.C. While the clowns in charge of the federal government continue to dolt and dither, at the state level, Red America, MAGA country, is going through an absolute boom. An astonishing 46 million people moved to a new zip code over last year, the highest annual total on record. And the vast majority moved from blue states to red states. In fact, the exodus out of California alone was so massive that U-Haul actually ran out of moving trucks leaving the state. The biggest losers overall, New York, LA, Chicago, residents under 35 moved out en masse, particularly during COVID. And where did they go? Well, they settled south to cities like Atlanta, Dallas, Phoenix. As we speak, red states now have more people in residence to work than before the pandemic. Tennessee enjoyed the fastest growth of any state, followed by Florida and Texas. And it's not just residents that have been leaving, it's companies. Tesla has left California for Texas. Hedge fund titan Citadel has left Illinois for Florida. And blue-collar Caterpillar is also decamping in Texas. Even Seattle-bred Amazon now splits its headquarters between Virginia and Tennessee. All told, investment in new manufacturing facilities is up an astonishing 116% alone this last year in red states. As you can see, the fact that they're about to build the tallest skyscraper in the country is one of the deepest red states in the nation is but a symptom of the massive shift in population production away from dying, dilapidated blue states that are literally imploding under the rot of their own wokeness, replaced by vibrant, economically and culturally thriving red states. Said differently, the future of America is red. The nation is indeed being dominated by MAGA country. Let me know what you think. Remember, you are the news. What is your number one favorite red state and why? Let us know in the comment section below. But unfortunately, we've got another news story to cover, and that's the latest Mike Pence embarrassment. Wait until you see this. Are you looking to get out of your job in this economy and maybe considered a business or franchise opportunity, but you were put off by the $1 million price tag? I could not recommend more. tapping into the parallel economy with your own online e-commerce store business and gaining a life of freedom. My friend and fellow patriot Alex Alberon has a tremendous track record of building successful online businesses for Turley talkers in our community, and I'm so grateful to have him sponsoring this video today. He's a member of Trump's International Golf Club. He's a close ally of President Trump's, and he's a multi-million-dollar online entrepreneur. He's the real deal. Alex offers an amazing program where he personally helps you launch your own online e-commerce store. So he'll help you with everything from selecting products, creating your store, marketing your products, much, much more. And all for a fraction of the cost to start a traditional business opportunity. Gang, seriously, stop dreaming. Turn your dreams into reality. Discover how you can apply your business ability and Alex's framework for online success to create a positive impact for you and your family. Book a free consultation with Alex to learn more by clicking on the link below or visiting yourecombusiness.com/Turley. Thanks, Alex. Yeah, gang, so we need to talk about poor Mike Pence. It's just been revealed that Mike's group, Advancing American Freedom, aren't those wonderful title or wonderful name? Advancing American Freedom. Turns out that they've agreed to spend $20 million in an effort to defeat what they call, quote, unprincipled populism in the conservative movement. In other words, they, like Nikki Haley, are running against Trump. They're running against MAGA. The Advancing American Freedom Group is going to spend millions trying to convince those on the right who may have been enticed by populist messages, the populist siren song, to revert back to true conservative principles. Now, again, this is just so sad. And I mean that, seriously. I've just never seen someone fall so dramatically, so catastrophically out of favor with his own voters. And then he thinks that he can win those voters back by convincing them that they were wrong and he is right. It's so beyond a comedy of errors at this point. It's absurd. What Mike Pence fails to realize, or at least these idiot donors who are wasting their millions on him, what they all fail to realize is that they are the reason why the populist movement is exploding in the first place. This is the ironic hilarity of what's going on here. Mike Pence and the GOP establishment, the very people trying to convince you to reject the populist uprising, are the very people responsible for that uprising in the first place. Scholars across the board recognize that populist movements all over the world are collectively a massive backlash against the policies and, yes, the principles of globalism. The conservatism of Mike Pence and his ilk in organizations like National Review are just simply reheated globalism, nothing more. Rule by the elite, transnational free markets, woke human rights, interventionist, never-ending wars to spread democracy around the world, like in Ukraine. It's just rehashed globalism. That's all it literally is. That's the so-called conservatism of George W. Bush and Karl Rove and Mitch McConnell and Mitt Romney. In other words, Mike Pence has more in common with Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden than he does with Donald Trump. That's why they're all trying to take Trump down. And it's precisely these globalist policies that have provoked the populist backlash in the first place. Open borders, displaced manufacturing jobs overseas, the woke war against our nation's cultures, customs, and traditions. All of this is combined into a massive populist revolt and what's often referred to as post-security politics, a revolt demanding border security, economic security, cultural security. And we're seeing this revolt rising up in unique but also common ways all over the world. This is exactly what we're seeing throughout Europe, as farmers are rising up against green globalist initiatives that are basically destroying the European agricultural market. They're rising up against leaders who have turned away from being representatives and are instead now rulers. They are governing according to the values, interests, and concerns of the elite and the billionaires in Davos at the expense of the values, interests, and concerns of the people they claim to represent. This is precisely what's driving the populist movements all over the world. And Pence and his donors, it looks like, are about to find that out the hard way. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. God bless. But first, gang, as many of you know, we have unfortunately been completely and totally demonetized, which is putting our daily communication with one another at risk like never before. Now, we are actively working on getting this resolved, but as things stand, this channel has, without any warning, been totally and completely demonetized. And as Elon Musk said so powerfully last week, the whole point of these demonetization efforts is to deliberately try to make us patriots feel like we're all alone. They want to sever our relationship with each other and force on us a kind of digital solitary confinement so as to demoralize us and discourage us like never before. But to their horror, it's not working. Over this past week, you have carried this channel like never before. We've had more people than ever make the courageous decision to bypass big tech and join our Insiders Club. We have direct access to one another that can never be interrupted by big tech overlords. Over the last 7 days, we've seen literally thousands of you come to our rescue. And you've done it in two ways. You've signed up for our free newsletter and you've officially joined our Insiders Club. Those two acts alone are enough for us to collectively stand together and never, ever have our relationship severed. So I'm inviting the rest of you to do the same today, just by clicking on that link below and signing up for our newsletter and joining our Insiders Club. You are guaranteeing that there is nothing that big tech can do to get between us and make us feel like we're in a digital solitary confinement. It's as simple as clicking on the link below right now and opting into our free email newsletter. And once you do that, you can financially support us by joining our Insiders Club. Gang, from the bottom of my heart, I cannot thank you enough for your support during a time like this. You are my heroes, and it will be my mission to express my appreciation for every single one of you each and every week.